All right, everyone. Let's dive into something a little different today.
No.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about sex.
Okay.
Specifically, the importance of sex in modern life.
Interesting.
We're actually looking at a source called The Importance of Sex in Modern Life for this deep dive. And, I think it's something that's really important to talk about because it touches on so many different aspects of our lives.
Right. It's not just about the act itself.
Exactly. It's about well-being, relationships,
Culture.
all of that. And sometimes it feels like it's a bit of a taboo subject,
It can be. Yeah. People don't always feel comfortable discussing it.
But it's so essential to our well-being, so we're going to get into it.
That's right. It's about time we normalize these conversations.
Okay, so one of the things that really jumped out at me from the source was the connection between sex and physical health.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
I mean, I knew there were some benefits, obviously, but I was surprised by just how many.
It's more than just a good workout, right?
So much more. Like, did you know that having sex can actually help reduce stress?
Yeah. The source highlighted some research from Harvard about that.
Really?
Yeah. Apparently, sexual activity can significantly lower your cortisol levels.
Cortisol.
That's your body's main stress hormone.
Oh, right.
And when you have less stress, well, you sleep better, your mood improves, and even your heart health gets a boost.
Wow, I never realized it was all connected like that.
It is. It's pretty amazing. It's like a natural stress reliever.
That's pretty cool. I mean, who needs a gym membership when you...
Well, I wouldn't necessarily ditch the gym entirely, but...
Right, of course.
Yeah.
It's all about balance.
Exactly. But it's definitely something to think about.
I mean, it makes you wonder how many people are missing out on these physical health benefits.
Yeah.
Just because they're not having enough sex or maybe not enjoying it as much as they could be.
That's a really good point. And it's not just the physical side of things, The source also talks about how sexual satisfaction is linked to better self-esteem and confidence.
Makes sense, I guess. If you feel good about that part of your life, it can kind of spill over into everything else.
Exactly. It's like this positive feedback loop.
Interesting.
You feel good about your sex life, you feel more confident in other areas, and that confidence can actually lead to an even better sex life.
It's all connected.
Precisely.
Okay, so we've got the physical health benefits, the boost in self-esteem. But what about our mental and emotional well-being? I know the source touched upon some interesting stuff there, too.
Oh, absolutely. It actually cites some research showing a correlation between sexual satisfaction and lower rates of anxiety and depression.
Really? I mean, that's huge.
It is, and it makes sense when you think about the hormones involved.
Okay, tell me more about that.
So, well, during sex, your body releases oxytocin, which is often called the love hormone.
Oh, I've heard of that.
Right. And oxytocin plays a huge role in fostering feelings of connection and bonding.
Interesting.
Not just with your partner, but also with yourself.
So it's not just about the physical act itself.
Exactly. It's about that feeling of intimacy and closeness that comes with it.
That makes a lot of sense. It's like you're strengthening those emotional bonds through physical touch.
Exactly. And when you feel connected and loved well, it can have a profound impact on your overall mood and well-being.
I can see that. So it sounds like sex plays a pretty big role in building healthy relationships too, right?
Absolutely. I mean, think about it. Intimacy is a cornerstone of any strong relationship.
Yeah, that's true. And the source talked a bit about that too, right? What was their take on it?
Well, it kind of challenges that idea of sex being just a purely physical act.
Right.
It really emphasizes the importance of communication, trust, and understanding each other's needs and desires.
It makes sense.
Well, yeah.
We're all so different.
Exactly. And the source used this really interesting analogy.
Oh yeah, I remember this. It was something about a GPS, wasn't it?
That's right. It compared communication in a relationship to a GPS.
But what does that actually look like in terms of sex?
It means being open and honest with each other about what you enjoy, what you're curious about, and maybe even things you're not so into.
Yeah, being on the same page.
Exactly. It's about navigating those preferences together.
Like a team.
Exactly. And the source makes a great point that this open communication can actually lead to greater intimacy and satisfaction for both partners.
If you're both feeling heard and understood, it just makes everything better.
Absolutely. It strengthens that bond and creates a deeper sense of connection.
Okay, so we've covered the physical and mental health benefits, the relationship stuff.
Yeah.
But there's another layer to this whole conversation.
Oh.
The cultural and social side of things.
Yeah, definitely.
The source delves into that a bit, too.
Absolutely.
I mean, we're living in pretty interesting times when it comes to societal norms around sex,
things are definitely changing.
What did the source say about that?
Well, it points out that modern society is becoming more accepting of diverse sexual orientations and identities, which is pretty amazing.
It is. And it makes having open and honest conversations even more important.
Exactly. It's about creating a space where everyone feels safe and comfortable expressing themselves.
Absolutely. And that's where comprehensive sex education comes in too, right?
Oh, 100%. The source talks about that as well.
What does it say?
It emphasizes the importance of having access to accurate and unbiased information.
Right, so that people can make informed decisions about their bodies and their relationships.
Exactly. It's about empowering people to make healthy choices.
And to understand their own needs and boundaries, right?
Absolutely. It's all connected.
It really is. But let's be real here.
Yeah.
The digital age kind of throws a wrench in things, doesn't it?
It definitely adds a whole new layer of complexity. The source acknowledges that too.
I mean, on one hand, we have access to more information than ever before.
That's true.
But on the other hand, there's so much misinformation out there.
Right. It's like a minefield trying to figure out what's accurate and what's not.
And then there's the whole issue of social media and the pressure it creates.
Oh, yeah. Unrealistic expectations, airbrushed images, the whole 9 yards.
It can be tough to navigate all that, especially for younger people who are still figuring things out.
I agree. It's a real challenge, and it's something we need to be talking about more.
Absolutely. And it's not just the information overload that's a problem, right? Our modern lifestyles are so busy.
Oh my gosh, yes. Always rushing, always connected.
It can be hard to make time for intimacy.
It can. It really can.
And I imagine that can take a toll on our relationships and our overall well-being.
Absolutely. It's easy to let other things take priority, but nurturing your intimate life is just as important as any other aspect of your well-being.
So it's about being intentional, making time for each other, even when life gets crazy.
Exactly. It's about prioritizing those moments of connection.
All right, so we've covered a lot of ground here. We've talked about the physical and mental health benefits of sex, the importance of communication in relationships, the cultural and social context, and the challenges of the digital age. But what's the key takeaway here? What do we want our listeners to walk away with?
The source really emphasizes that even with all these complexities, the importance of sex in modern life can't be overstated.
It's a fundamental part of who we are.
Exactly. It's about self-discovery, understanding, and connection, both with ourselves and with others.
That's a beautiful way to put it. So it's not just about the act itself.
Right.
It's about embracing the whole journey.
The journey of intimacy, pleasure, and connection.
Well said. And I think that's a great note to end on. This deep dive has been incredibly insightful. But remember, this is just the beginning. Keep exploring, keep the conversation going, and most importantly, keep learning.
Couldn't agree more. It's an ongoing journey, and there's always something new to discover.
That's the beauty of it. All right, everyone, thanks for joining us for this deep dive. We'll see you next time.
See you then. Bye.
Yeah.